What's up, everyone? I got another video today. This one's going to be sponsored by Kemimoto. Kemimoto sent me a horn for my side-by-side. So it was something that I wanted to put on. So they have one. I will show you the pricing. There will be a link to their website in the description below and information about this product. So I'm just opening it up. It comes with a switch, so I think I bought a switch, but it comes with a wiring harness enclosed in like the flexible like conduit for automotive zip ties. The horns in here. I got everything. So, and it even comes with the lighted switch. So that's gonna make life a whole lot easier because I bought a switch and I have all that stuff already. So anyways, we're gonna get started on this installation. It's not gonna take long. Excuse my machine for being a dirty mess. It needs power washed bad. We've been getting rain almost every day for the last 2 weeks, and we ride around our property, check on crops, and been checking trail cameras and stuff like that. Deer season's coming, so it's pretty filthy and needs a bath. But I'm gonna install this horn today. You could put a horn on for numerous reasons. The reason I decided I wanted one, we just did like a poker run with a bunch of people, and some of those guys had horns, and they would blow their, everybody would stop periodically, have a drink, hang out, and talk whenever it was time to load up and go on, because there was like 20 side-by-sides. Some couple guys would blow their horn and everybody would load up. It worked really good. So putting a horn on, I'm gonna mount it under the hood somewhere, and I'm gonna, my switches are filling up in the middle, so there's 3 more cutouts next to the steering wheel that I'm gonna access and knock one out, and that's where I'm gonna mount the horn, and I'll show you that installation here. It's pretty quick. I also got the little pigtails plugs that plug into the Polaris factory bus bar. You can buy them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for that also. They're like $10 or so for 3 of them. They're pretty cheap. So Amazon's where I get them. There's other places, I'm sure. Polaris probably sells them for a bunch more. Kemimoto will have a discount code in the description below. That will be good for a while, so you can use that to get a percentage off. All right, let's get started. I also wanted to say this job's real easy to do for a beginner, not very complicated, so you might not even need a wire stripping tools the way they have it set up. I would say typically you need some wire strippers and crimpers, and but this, they give you everything. So I popped these couple quick fasteners used on most machines. There's 2 of them up under here in the back, and that allows your instrument cluster to come out here. So I'm gonna move it out of the way. It's got a 1 wire harness to the back of it because I got it access. I'm gonna put the horn right here, probably next to the headlights, so you would access it from in here. So I got to cut that out with the razor knife. I'm gonna knock this out, and we'll be able to mount the switch, run the wire up through, take the hood off real fast with these quick releases. You just turn them and the hood is removed. So I'll find a spot to mount the horn up under here, and then plug into one of these. So after getting into this, I just told you about those pigtails that you can buy on Amazon to wire your accessories up. Kemimoto has it. They have it so easy for you. This thing already has a built-in fuse. This is going, it's already got the connectors on it. This is going to plug into the horn. And then your power source, here's that pigtail. It's already on the wire harness. So I don't need to use those that I bought. This is just a plug and play. The only thing I don't know, well, I can tell by looking at it, they used the middle and the, let me see, middle and the top. So they have it set up with the middle. The middle's for accessory, and then the bottom one is hot all the time. So they have it wired up for, you'd have to have the switch on for it to have power, which is cool. That's how I wire most things up so it doesn't kill the battery. So it's already decked out, ready to go. And not only that, they have this connector right here in the harness. So you can run this through the firewall without having to get the whole switch or take the switch off and get this bulky connector that has a heat shrink on. They have a quick connector here, so you can run it through the firewall, break it and run it through the firewall. Pretty simple. That's a pretty good product. So, all right, continuing on. I'm gonna cut out that plate for the switch. There we go. Then just clean it up. There's the knockout. Clean up the edges with the knife a little bit. So I'm going to install the switch now and get to the front of the machine. So this disconnect here, just push in on that little tab, disconnects, nice and simple. The rest of this is going to go up under the hood. And what we're going to do here is disconnect the connectors from the switch. They should just all kind of wiggle off a little bit. Some of them you have to use a little finesse here. Might have to use a screwdriver. This horn will work on any side-by-side. It has the Polaris bus bar connector. So if you're putting this on another machine, you would either have to cut that off and just wire it up, or see if they have it for your machine. I don't have a lot of different side-by-sides, so I don't know if any of the other side-by-side brands, if that's a standard, the bus bar, or if that's just a Polaris thing. Sorry for not knowing that. Okay, with this opened up, it might be hard to, right there. So I can run this wire over and take it right through that into the hood, through the firewall. Take your wire harness and bring it through, and then hook your switch up, and then push it in place. Because if you put the switch in and it locks in, you're gonna have a heck of a time trying to hook these wires up behind here. So your best bet is to do it out here. All right, I'm going to leave some of what I just did in the video because I just don't want to waste time in the video, but I will show you the mistake I made. You don't have to disconnect this. I just took all those connectors off of here, because I'm used to plugging the switch in and hooking them up from behind. With this already pre-made like this, and it might even, if you wire up your own stuff, it might even be easier to wire them up and then splice the wires somewhere else, just because sometimes they're hard to reach in these places if you're plugging into the back of them, that I've experienced in the past doing it myself. So when you have this, you just take and feed this right in here like so and plug your switch in. You don't have to take it apart. That was a big waste of time on my part, so do not do that. I was just wiring it up in my hand, and like, well, I guess I didn't need to take it apart. So then let's make sure this pushes in our hole. She's a little tight. I might have to open that hole up with hair. All right, I'm going to leave some of what I just did in the video because I don't need to, I just don't want to waste time in the video, but I will show you the mistake I made. You don't have to disconnect this. I just took all those connectors off of here because I'm used to plugging the switch in and hooking them up from behind. With this already pre-made like this, and it might even, if you wire up your own stuff, it might even be easier to wire them up and then splice the wires somewhere else, just because sometimes they're hard to reach in these places if you're plugging into the back of them, that I've experienced in the past doing it myself. So when you have this, you just take and feed this right in here like so and plug your switch in. You don't have to take it apart. That was a big waste of time on my part, so do not do that. All right, I trimmed that up in there, and let's see if this goes in now. There it goes. Make sure you don't put it in upside down because these are a bit of a chore to get back out. And there it is. And it won't stay on like a switch. It's reset, you know. All right. Now I got to run my other cable over to this one because this isn't long enough to go out through. So up here, I'm going to take this white connector through the firewall here and hook into the other part of that harness. Now I'm going to do a quick ops check before I go any farther because it's easy to do. So I got the horn 12 volt. With this horn, it doesn't matter which way you hook it up, so you can plug it in. Alright, so the horn is connected now. All I got to do is plug in my power supply, which I'm going to use the next one in line here. Okay, these are the plugs that come out from the factory, and it should work now when I turn the key on. So I'll set it right up here so we can see. It's a pretty loud horn. Alright, and then with this horn here, they give you this bracket and this nut. It's got the insert on the back side has teeth on it, so it's like a self-locking feature. So we're going to tighten this down, and I'm going to mount this. I got to get a self-tapping screw, and I'm going to mount it like right here. We're actually probably on one back. Alright, so this bolt here was 10 millimeter. And I'm going to mount it right in here using this bolt that I just found. It's gonna grip into that plastic real nice. It's also 10 millimeters, so that works out. As long as it goes through this bracket. Alright, and that's just going into plastic, so we're not going to make it too tight. It's pretty loud, so not a bad deal. I like the whole setup, real simple. Wiring harness was nice. You know, I took the switch off. You do not have to do that. That'll save you a bunch of time, because they have that nice break in the wire where you can disconnect, or a quick disconnect it, then you put your switch in and then hook that quick disconnect back up, and that'll save you a bunch of time, unlike what I did. So then you can take all this extra harness they give you, because this is universal. You can cut this pigtail off here that goes to the Polaris power bank, and you can wire that up to any power source, so you can make this work on any machine or anything with a 12 volt battery. So then you can just take all your extra wire harness, coil it up somewhere. They give you wire ties and secure it out of the way. I'm going to coil mine up and tuck it down in here. It's just extra wasted space. Alright, I'm going to throw the hood back on, and then we'll check it from a distance. So The only thing that I don't really like about this that I would have done different is you can wire these switches in different configurations. This is a standard configuration that they have. It's a lighted switch, but it's also a spring-loaded switch where, like this switch here, you can flip it, it stays on. It also has a backlighting, and whenever you flip it, then I have these wired backwards also, but this one doesn't have the backlighting. It just lights up when you engage a switch and give it power. So whenever you hit horn, then it lights up. So I would have liked this to be lit all the time. So in the nighttime, I don't know, if you need to use your horn, it would be lit, easier to find. This is the standard wiring practice for this switch, so it lights up when you hit the horn, but you can change the orientation on the back of the switch and make it so it's lit up all the time just by swapping some wires, which there's other videos on YouTube which ones to swap, but that's the only thing I would have done different, so it's lit all the time. Everything else, it's great, easy and fast, doesn't take very long, and anybody can do this task. Thanks for watching this video. I like the horn a lot. The only thing I would have done different is change the wiring on the switch for the backlighting on the horn switch. I have a lot of videos on other products from Kemimoto. Check them out on my channel. Also, everything's in the description below. There's a discount code below. And go to their website. They also sell stuff on Amazon. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next video.